Greetings, gamers. Hoser here for Hoser House Rules. Welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about Dark City Games. Dark City Games, you can just Google Dark City Games, or it is available at www.darkcitygames.com. So, Dark City Games has a bunch of programmed adventures. And their basic deal is they're a simplification and somewhat change to the old Steve Jackson fantasy trip rules, right? You're basically rolling 3 dice. You want to roll, if your dexterity is 12, you want to roll 12 or lower to hit. Your strength is your hit points, those rules. So I'm not going to review any of the specific modules today, although I will show some. But let me just tell you what they have available at Dark City Games. And if I get any likes or comments or questions, I could review specific modules in the future. The very good thing about modules is that each set comes with their own rules. I mean, not their own rules, but a full set of the rules. The rules are only like 8 pages on a 8.5 by 11. And they have some free stuff. You can get the rules for free. You can get 2 programmed adventures for free. And the cool thing about the programmed adventures is that you can run them solo or you can run them for a group. All right? So let's get into, and I'm just doing about the fantasy. They do have a Western component. They do have a sci-fi component, but I am just talking about the fantasy aspect of it today. All right. So you go to Dark City Games, and the first thing you can download for free is Legends of the Ancient World, which are the rules. Now, the rules are only 8 pages long. And the rules are really only the first 3 pages. The last 5 pages are basically just tons of spells, which you don't need that many spells. I definitely would not run with that many spells in a campaign. But anyway, you get the rules for free. Just a little glitch on the rules. LAW, Legends of the Ancient World. The last time I checked at Dark City Games, it's a 16-page download, but the first 8 pages are the same as the last 8 pages. So don't download, don't print all 16 pages because you're going to get duplicate. Just print the first 8 pages. Legends of the Ancient World. This also comes with every module, the same rules. So you can get the rules for free, and they come with every module. And again, they're based on the old fantasy trip Steve Jackson system. So basically, I was running one of the modules, and just on 8.5 by 11, I can fit 4 characters easily. They basically just have strength, dexterity, and IQ. And I also made notes of what number I was at on the module. It's very important to keep track of where you're at on the module. Sometimes it's a little glitchy, and it's kind of hard to get back to the place where you need to finish the quest. So, but again, you could have a character on a 3x5 card because it's just strength, dexterity, IQ, hit points. They do have a D20 conversion if you don't want to do 3D6. I use D20 myself. I don't use their conversion rules. I just convert it on my own. But they do have a D20 conversion rule if you want to convert to D20 instead of the 3D6 roll low. Now, all the modules are set in the world of Tyrion. And if you go there, they have a big, beautiful colored map. And this is just a black and white 8.5 by 11 of it. This is Tyrion. And a lot of the stuff happens at Red Point, which is up here. It's a northern coastal town of Red Point, and around the Red Point Peninsula. So this map, and it also has tiny little abbreviations of where adventures are. I don't know if you can see those 3 tiny little letters there, but that stands for one of the adventures. In the middle, there's a little town called Leafs Hill, and that's where Orcs of the High Mountains happens. But here's the problem with this map. It only shows big cities It doesn't show little cities. The scale is huge, okay? So each hex on this map is 200 miles. So if you're going from Lee's Hill up to Red Point, that's 2,000 miles, okay? So I wouldn't use this. If you're going to use this map for a campaign, I wouldn't use this map for a campaign. If you are going to use the map for a campaign, you have to drastically change the scale to maybe 1 hex equals 10 or at most 20 miles, certainly not 200 miles, because, you know, unless you have like trains or planes, you're not going to be able to travel 2,000 miles in the course of a campaign. All right, so the first thing you want to download after the rules is Orcs of the High Mountains. Again, this is a free download. It is a programmed adventure. By that I mean you start at number 1 and it gives you some choices, then you go to a couple different ones. Then according to which choices you make, you go to different numbers. Sometimes you have fights, sometimes you have encounters of different types. And this is a free adventure. Also, the Sorcerer's Mountain, I'm sorry, the Sorcerer's Mansion is also a free program adventure that you can download. So you can download Orcs of the High Mountains, the Sorcerer's Manners, and the rules, and check it out, see if you like it. And that's all free at Dark City Games. And then if you want to, you can buy some more of the modules. They have about 12, 15 modules, programmed adventures currently going on. So remember that Red Point, that city up north, that coastal city. Oh, by the way, this is a color version of the Orcs of the High Mountains playboard, which comes with the download. And I just had it printed in color. And this is a version of the Sorcerer's Manor. Again, I just had it printed in color, but it comes with the download, so you can just print it and play right on these hexes. Sometimes you will be using part of the room, sometimes you'll be using all of the room. Sometimes things will be in effect, like these columns in the center, like the stairs may or may not be in effect. It just depends on what instruction you are on. Okay, so you get the free rules, you get 2 free adventures, you get the playboard for that. But let me show you what you get when you buy one of their, and they're about $13. On Fridays they have deals, so usually a Fantasy Friday deal, you can get $3 off one of the program adventures. If you buy at least 4, shipping would be free. So I just bought 4 with my $3 off and my free shipping. I got 4 for about $48, $49, which is pretty nice. Let me show you. Let me show you where you should start if you start buying adventures. And you should start with Fires in the Street. So this is one of the $13 program adventures. It comes with a nice synopsis in the back. And Fire in the Streets, about 2/3 of it is describing the world of Tyrann. So that's a good place to start if you're going to use the map for a campaign, or if you want to know everything about the world, the history, the races, and stuff like that. So if your characters do Orcs of the High Mountains, eventually they get to Red Point, and this would be a great place to start for a Red Point scenarios, because there are 3 Red Point program adventures, that happen in Red Point and are connected. So the next one I would get is Sewers of Red Point, which is definitely connected to Fire in the Streets. Has to do a lot with the same guy that you're looking for. So that would be a good second one to get. Fire in the Streets gives you the whole world background and the rules, and a shorter program adventure. This is a full program adventure. It's about, say about 40 pages. And basically you get maps usually in the back, and you get, all the programmed choices that you can make in the rest of the book. I usually print these maps photocopy them, and then put them together, because sometimes they're not together. They're one side on one page and the back is on the back side of the page. So I just stick them together and I put a sheet protector on it, and that works really well for, you usually get a campaign map for each program adventure. So Fire in the Streets, then Sewers of Red Point. Let me show you some things that I just got. I just got 4, and one of them is Terrors in the Night. Now, Terrors in the Night also happens in Red Point after Sewers of Red Point and Fire in the Streets. So if you're running like a Red Point campaign, this would be a third one to get. Now, basically, what you get is, again, the rules, the program adventure, usually a map in the back, and it comes in a little plastic bag like this big. So you get the rule set, and you get counters that you can cut up, and that's all the counters you're going to need. You get counters with every program adventure, except for the free ones, of course. So you could just use their cutout counters to play the game. So you get the program adventure with the rules, the counters, and you get a map for each program adventure. So it fits into the plastic bag. So it's folded, and it's just one-sided, and they're pretty nice maps. So they're this big, and this is the map for Terrors by Night. They usually have the name on it. Here's Terrors by Night. And as you can see, there's different parts of this map. So sometimes you would just be using like a quarter of the map. Sometimes you would be using the whole map. Sometimes you would be using, like, say this little thing might be a tower here, so this room here. And the program adventure will tell you which part of the map to use, which room, if they have separate room names or numbers on the map to use. Now, the first thing you want to do when you get your maps is to laminate them. Okay, because as you can see, the creases where it's folded in 4 ways will show up very quickly. So you'll have these white lines going across the middle. So you want to laminate these. I laminate them back to back. So this is the Crown of Kings map. That's one of the program adventures. And this is the Dark Veil, so an outdoorsy map. But you definitely want to get it laminated, because those creases will definitely show and start kind of falling apart at the creases pretty quickly. So you probably don't want to be opening and closing your map too much. Here's the map of Fire in the Streets. Again, there's different parts. Sometimes you use the whole map. Sometimes you use a quarter of the map. It just depends on what you're doing. It also has letters. Sometimes you start at A, sometimes you start at B, C, or the monsters start in the middle, or whatever letter. The instructions will tell you where to go. This is Shadows in the Dark map. Again, an outdoors map. So you get these, you get a few of these, and you get them laminated, and you're all set to go. That's all the playing board you're going to need. Of course, you can always just use a plain 1-inch hex area or 1 square inch square area, like you would for traditional Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder. That will work just fine. All right, let me just show you. So this is the plastic bag they come in. You get the rules with the module, you get the counters, and you get the map. Let me show you 3 more that I bought. This is their latest one, and I got $3 off this last Friday. It's called Uprising. And again, they usually come with a nice synopsis in the back, but this one is pretty short, but you can read at the Dark City Games website what the encounter is basically about. Here's another one I got 4. So the thing in the lake. Obviously, there's going to be some monster to kill there. Synopsis in the back. And I'm not even going to open these until I'm ready to laminate them. And again, these are all based on the Fantasy Trip, original Steve Jackson Fantasy Trip rules. But they're highly modified and simplified at the Dark City Games rules. And the last one I got is Punisher's Keep. You can't really tell what's going on in the front on this one, but I'm looking forward to it. It looks pretty interesting because it has a really nice summary in the back. And again, these are all fantasy, role-playing, programmed adventures. They have different authors for the different ones. Different people write them. In fact, you can submit one to Dark City Games if you could write a programmed adventure, and they might accept it and publish it. So, that's my general overview of Dark City Games. Again, programmed adventures for fantasy role-playing. About $13 each. It comes with the rules, it comes with a map, it comes with the counters, pretty much everything you need. And like I said, there's free downloaded adventures and rules. So, if you have any questions or comments about Dark City Games, I would love to hear from you. If you want me to do specific reviews on specific modules and how well they work and how they play out, I would love to do that. If you just leave a suggestion in the comments section, that would be great. I do plan to do some specific reviews in the future, especially of the first 3 that are connected, Fire in the Streets and Sewers of Red Point, the 3 Red Point ones. Plus, I probably will review Arcs of the High Mountains and the Sorcerer's Manor. So that's it. Pretty cheap, pretty easy, solo or group programmed adventures from Dark City Games. So, hope to hear from you, and I'll see you at the table.